Hello guys, and welcome to another video. Today is another episode of me and Gen Z. Before we start today's video slash podcast episode, whatever you want to call it, I just want to let those of you know who like to listen to podcasts that this show, this Monday thing that I do, me and Gen Z, is now available on most of the podcast places. So Spotify, Google Podcasts, and all the other names that I can't think of right now. I share some of the links on my Twitter, so if you want to go check that out, I will put my link down below. So you can check out that if you prefer to listen to the podcast instead of watching the video. If you want to watch the video, I really appreciate it. And you can always comment your thoughts on the topics that we discuss, as well as any other topics you would like me to discuss as well. I just also want to mention I have started a blog. I've done about 4 blog entries just when inspiration strikes. I think the link is in my about section on this YouTube page, but I will also put the link in the description of this video. So if you want to go check out my blog, please do that. And also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know when more videos are coming up. I have so much fun ideas that I want to try out. Apart from the podcasts, I do a lot of fun videos. You know, Entertainment Tuesday is a thing now. My brother and I do some entertaining there, talking about various entertainment things. And then I just post maybe some fun quizzes I do, or fun little videos that are just meant to make people laugh. Okay, so like, subscribe, and comment anything you want me to talk about in this podcast in the future, or what you think about the things I'm discussing in this podcast. Okay, so with all of that said, let's get started with today's topic. Okay, so today's topic of discussion for the podcast is seeing isn't believing. And what exactly do I mean with that? Well, it's pretty obvious. I've spoken a lot about the fact that we as Gen Z grew up with technology. We grew up with the internet. We grew up with social media. We have always had information available to us. But is that always the correct information? So a huge thing with YouTube and social media is something they have dubbed clickbait, where you have a thumbnail or a picture introducing a video that is grabbing people's attention, that looks weird or different or just impossible, so that people click on it and watch it. Okay? Now, sometimes people don't click on it. They see what's written, they see a headline, so they see the title of the thumbnail, and they just take that at face value without doing further investigation. This is something that is very important to discuss, especially today, with a lot of us who have access to so much information. How do we know what information is real? Okay, how do we know who is telling the truth, who is not telling the truth? How do we know something is basically just a parody, or when is something real? The thing is, it's a double-edged sword. We have the luxury of having information in the palm of our hands, in the form of a cell phone. We can Google anything in 5 seconds. We can go on social media and find anything, information about anything. We can see posts from thousands of people. So we have all this information in the palm of our hands. But the flip side is, with all of this information comes information that is not true. Okay, and I'm not saying someone's opinion, because your opinion is your opinion. I'm saying people who actually just say things that are not true. People who make thumbnails to be clickbait, to get views, because that is what it's about. I know I'm doing a YouTube video and my goal is also to get views. I understand. But if you're creating a thumbnail or you're creating a headline to get clicks or views or likes, and you're not telling the truth. I'm not saying if you're a comedian and you're making a funny joke that is obviously not true, that is different, okay? If people know you're a comedian, they know you're making a joke, that's different completely. What I'm saying is people who deliberately try to deceive you, okay? And this is, okay, sure, don't lie to people, but it's kind of the culture that they were, that we are growing up in. You are basically told to get views and followers and subscribers, and this is the things you want. This is the thing we should strive for, right? That is what growing up with the internet and social media has kind of conditioned us to think like, how many followers can I get? How many likes can I get? How many views can I get? And we'll get into the negative effect of that maybe in another video or another episode of this podcast, whichever you're listening to. But that is what we've been conditioned to think. Get views, get subscribers, get followers, get likes. Okay? And if you're actually putting something out there that is honest and truthful and a lot of people go to it, good for you. I'm not actually saying having a lot of followers is a bad thing. If you're, like I said, social media can be a job. If it's your job to be on social media and you get paid for it, you feed yourself, you feed your family with that job, great. Okay? Good for you. But if you're a social media consumer or you're a news consumer, which I think are most of the people, you now have access to so much information that it's very difficult to differentiate between what is real and what is not real. And that is where the bad part comes in, because now we have such easy access to information which we think would make our lives easier, right? Because everything just comes through. It's on social media, it's on the internet, Google, you can find anything. All the information is there, and this is supposed to make our lives easier, right? I mean, that's the whole point of putting all of this in your phone. One click away and you've got everything. It's supposed to be easier. But in a lot of ways, I think it's made our lives harder. Because now, we see 15 different versions of the same story on social media, and we don't know which one is real. Which means it is now our jobs, if we're interested in the truth, to go find out what is real, what is actual. So instead of making our lives easier by giving us the information, we're given too much information, and we now have to go investigate, if you want to call it that, to see what is real and what is not real. And that's, like I said, that is a consequence of being conditioned to go after followers and views and subscribers, because people will try to spin a story to get the likes, to get the clicks, because that is what pays. If someone says, okay, this page gets way more likes than this page, let's go do our ads with this page, because obviously more people are going to see it, right? So it's to create a platform that has so many people on it to get more money. And like I said, if social media is your job, I'm not like calling that a bad thing. I think it's a wonderful thing that a lot of people have been empowered to actually make money through social media. I think that's awesome. But we have to think about the consequences of this, okay? They have said, here, all of this information can be found on your phone. This little device here has everything. Okay, you can Google just about anything that you want to know. You can go on social media and find everyone's opinion on almost everything. Okay? So they say, well, now the news comes to you. It is easier, but it's not. Because we don't know which part is true, which part is not true. And this has kind of turned all of us into investigative journalists, because now we have to go search for the facts instead of it being easier, like they say, for us to just get information. Because are we getting the correct information? It's kind of creating so much confusion. Like, seeing isn't believing anymore. Like, you can just go on Instagram. I saw this the other day where there was like this challenge where people posted a photo of them posed versus just them normal, and the differences are insane. Now I get it, you're gonna post your best photo on Instagram, 100%. Me too, I get it. I will also post my best picture to Instagram. But that challenge kind of just showed me that a lot of what we see isn't actually what is. Okay, it is kind of made up, not lies perhaps, but it is kind of put in a filter to change the way that we see it, right? Because that is what a filter is. If you put a filter on, it's to change the picture, it's to change what people see. So all of this information that we now have access to, whether it's from the internet or on social media, people want to grab people's attention with like a powerful headline or a powerful thumbnail picture or powerful quote. They want to grab your attention because they know when there's engagement on these posts or videos, that is what brings in more money. But to do that, instead of just saying what is, because what is may be a little bit boring and people may not want to listen to it, instead of saying what is, they're putting it through a filter to change what we see, which now makes our jobs to go out and actually find the real information, because somewhere in all of those stories is a little bit of truth. And now that we have access to all of this information, instead of having easier lives, we have it harder because now we have to go look for the truth in every single piece of the puzzle that we get, and then finally form a version of the truth that is close to what actually is. And like I said, I know that businesses and social media influencers, YouTubers, it's their jobs. Okay, so I'm not gonna bash someone for doing their job. Okay, I get it. It's how you get paid. It's how you look after yourself. It's how you look after your family, and I applaud that. I applaud that you go out and do something to make sure you can have a good life. I get it, and that's amazing. And it's amazing that social media gives us a platform to do this. But the flip side of the coin is that the internet and social media have cultivated a culture in which it's about the clicks, it's about the views, it's about the likes. It's not necessarily about what is true, it is about what will get me more views, what will get my photo more likes, what will help me gain more followers, okay? And that's not to say that it's necessarily false, because you can have someone or something have a lot of views, have a lot of followers that is actually telling the truth, okay? That is possible. 100% that can be the facts. That can be what is real. Someone telling the truth as it is without, any clickbait or whatever can still have a lot of views and a lot of followers. I'm not saying that's impossible. It is definitely possible. But it's highly unlikely in the culture and society that we live in today that is exactly what you're going to find. Like I said, there's a little bit of truth in all of these stories. There's a little bit of truth in the clickbait. There's a little bit of truth in the headline. But it's not all truth. It's a filter to change the way that we look at things so that we click, so that we watch, so that we like, so that we follow. Okay, so yes, we have all of this information coming our way. We have access to more information than people did 50 years ago. We can look up anything. We can look up anyone. We can look up any story that's ever been, okay? Which is amazing. You can learn more about history, which is great. You can learn more about current events. You can learn more about how to get into a certain job, okay? You can make it your job, which is amazing. This is the amazing things that the internet and social media has given us. So I'm not denying the fact that there are definitely positives to all of this. And I don't want to be negative Nancy the whole time talking about how all of this is bad, because I realize and I recognize that there is definitely positives to all of this, okay? It's given people livelihoods. It's given people the chance to interact and chat to other people. So the internet and social media, definitely, like I've said repeatedly, there's a lot of positives. I'm just saying that we can't ignore the flip side of the coin, which is now that we're bombarded with so much information, it is very hard for us to recognize what is real and what is not real anymore. Okay, because we've been so conditioned. We don't know what is real and what is not real. Okay, it's hard to recognize unless you go and look for it, which is why I said we've basically created a job for ourselves now, where we're scrolling through social media, we see 15 different versions of the same story, which one is true. Now that is our job, to go and find out what are the facts. So I'm just saying, are there positives? Definitely, but let's not ignore the fact that seeing what is true and what is real has become a lot harder. Okay, because if you want to admit it or not, there's a lot of fake people out there, there's a lot of fake information out there, and if we don't do our due diligence, we will never know, and we will be tricked, like being catfished, okay, with information. We're being catfished with information because people want to get clicks and views and likes, okay? And yeah, I know you want to make a thumbnail as impactful as possible. You want to make an impactful thumbnail. I get it. You want to make an impactful headline. You want a impactful photo. You want to draw people in. I understand. That is the whole point of social media, social. But let's just not be fake, okay? Let's at least try to be real. And you can have your opinion. That is 100% correct. You can have your own opinions. I agree with that. You can share your own opinions. Do it. I'm doing it right now. This is all my opinion. Someone else may have another opinion that's like, you're wrong. It's like, okay, why? Tell me why. Let's have a conversation. Everyone has their own opinions. I get it. That's wonderful. Let's talk about it. But let's not go out there and say my opinion is facts and you have to believe it. And then someone else has another opinion and that's fact and we have to believe that. Which story is true? So what I'm saying is, as great as social media is and as great as the internet is for getting information, are we getting the correct information? And if there's a 15 different versions of the same story, it is now our jobs to go and look up what is real, okay? Don't fall for the filter that want to change the way you see things, okay? Don't. Go look beyond the filter. Go look beyond the filter, see what is real. Because seeing isn't believing anymore. Searching, researching, actually looking these things up, that is what's real. And once you can see what the facts are, that's what you can believe. But you have to do the work. Unfortunately now, when they've tried to make it easier, it's actually made it harder, which is just hilarious. I mean, here's all this information. We're making it easier for you. Well, what is real? Because there's 15 different versions of the story. Well, that's for you to decide. Okay? So they've made our lives a lot easier, true, but they've also made our lives a little bit harder. I'm not gonna lie. So that is what today is about. That is what I wanted to discuss. Like I said, this is my opinion. I'm not saying this is all facts, but you guys can recognize that some of what I'm saying is true, okay? Because it is. People want clicks and views and subscriptions. They're gonna make a thumbnail that may not always be true. I've clicked on a lot of videos that looked on the thumbnail like it's showing one thing, and then when you click on it, it's a completely different video, and you're like, but that's not what the thumbnail said. And that is maybe not as severe because it's a YouTube video, it's fine, but if it's something that actually has an impact on your life, I think you may want to go look and see what is real. Okay, so don't fall for the filter that want to change the way you see things. Okay, go look for the actual information, and when you have the actual information, you're within your full right to form your own opinion. But don't form your own opinion based on false information. Form your own opinion based on the information that you actually went and looked for and didn't just take whatever you got first at face value. That's all I'm saying, okay? Social media is fantastic. I like social media. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm here on YouTube, I'm on the podcast things. So I like social media as much as the next person. But let's not deny that there are some things out there that are not true and that are not real. and that are trying to change the way we see it. Okay, let's just do our own due diligence and make sure that we're getting the right information and then form our opinions on the right information. These opinions may be different, and that's fantastic. We're allowed to have different opinions, but make sure that opinion is based on what's real and not on what is fake. Okay, so I want to thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any comments, please comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts. If I'm wrong, if you have a different opinion, if you have something you would like to add, comment. That's why we're on social media in the first place, okay? If you have other topics you would like me to discuss, remember to comment that as well. I would love to hear what things you think are relevant right now and what you would like me to discuss. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you guys for the next video.